All right, here we are back again. You're right back with me with On a Mission. I'm your host, Jamar Suber. So as you know, on this program, we talk about wonderful, amazing entrepreneurs who are on a mission. And today, I'm here with Doc Farris and Trish to talk about Spread Oak Farm to Table. Listen, I'm not going to talk anymore. Let's talk about the mission. Doc, Trish, welcome to the show.
Welcome. Thank you.
Thank you for having us. So talk to us about Spread Oak. Talk to us about this mission.
Yeah. Several years ago, I think this week is the 11th year that we've had Spread Oak Farm, and Ed and Becky, we call them Uncle Ed and Aunt Becky, so and everybody does, by the way. But they had years ago, they had some issues with their children, some food allergies and things that were, affecting their behaviors and their health. And they started to do some research, and they started to discover that the food that we eat in America has a lot of things in it that are not good for us. And, you can have the same menu in another country, but not have the same effect, like that food not have the same effect that it does, that the food does here in our country. And so they started to do some research and really discovered that they needed to do something different. And so they did. And so 11 years ago, when they purchased Spread Oak, we put, I think, like 1,000 cows on this property, this 2,000 acre farm. Now, it was way too many, right, at first. And if you know Ed, you know that he just likes to go big. But over the course of the last 11 years, we sort of dialed it in. And honestly, we were just doing the meat for us and for our families there at the farm. And then we started having a lot of conversations with people and realizing that they had the same concerns about their food and the meat and what they were putting in their body, what they were giving to their kids. And they said, hey, what would it look like if we started to go farm to table? We started to, provide the same meat that we're getting, the same quality of meat that we're getting. What would it look like if we started to provide that to our friends, to outside of Spread Oak? So we did. And that's sort of the mission that we're on now, is we're really trying to build a base of people in the greater Jacksonville area, where they can, get their beef, know where it's coming from, know what the animals are eating. In fact, one of the things that Trish and I talked about on the way over here was, they can come out to Spread Oak and they get to see it, hands-on, bring their kids out. Like it's an experience. Wow. But you go, okay, I know exactly what these cows are eating. We know what's going into their bodies, and we feel really good about giving it and providing it for our families.
That's amazing. Trish, what do you think? What's one of the most important aspects of this mission that you're on when it comes to better health for our families and all these types of things? What's the most important?
Well, a couple years ago when COVID started, and there were a lot of conversations about vaccinations and different things, and what's causing our health issues, what's debilitating our immune system, and wherever you fall on that, pro or not, I think the conversation and the importance of the conversation of what are we putting in our bodies really should be important to every single person. And as parents of young children, I know it's important to us. I think about it every time I go to the grocery store. In fact, I try not to get too anxious about it, right? Because you're looking at everything and you're reading ingredients. And so you really want to know what's in what you're eating, because our food should be our medicine, right? Like that should be what's giving our body everything it needs to sustain itself and to be healthy and to be our best self and to live on mission for how God created us. And so our thinking and our process behind this of, if that is truly our mission and we really believe that food is medicine for us, then we need to know where it's coming from. We need to know what's in it, and we need to know that it's the best quality possible. And it's hard to trace that back. When you go into the big box stores, sometimes it's hard to understand the labels. It's hard to understand if it was raised here in the United States, was it actually processed in the United States? Because some companies, a lot of the larger meat companies have actually gotten a little sneaky with that, and they may raise them here, but then they process them in other countries. And so it's spending months, in cargo ships, it's being filled with preservatives, and other countries aren't under the same regulations that we are, so we don't really know what's happening to that meat when it's outside. And so to have something that I can look in a field and I can see these cows grazing, I know their diet from start to finish, and then they're actually processed in Fort McCoy right now. And so we use local processors, and so that meat is right here at all times. And so from start to finish, it's been here. You can see it, you can understand what's inside it, and I think it gives me such a peace in knowing that, and not even to mention the flavors. I've never experienced anything like it.
I think that's the best part. The people that eat the meat and get it, they're like, holy smoke. Like, you can really tell the difference, in the meat. Yeah. Wow. So we've yet to have a bad report from that. Like, everybody that gets it loves it.
Yeah. So as we go to wrap up, I have two last questions. When your family started eating it, did you see changes in your body and in your diet? And how can people find out more or even purchase your product?
Yeah. So that is a great question, Jamar, because here's what we discovered. If we spend the week eating all of the food that's coming off the farm, which we do, the eggs, our honey, the meat, it all comes from our farm. And then we go to a restaurant and we eat, we pay for it. Like, it's interesting how our bodies feel after, and again, no slam to the restaurant business, but it's just, you feel different. And so that has been, I think, for us, one of the most noticeable differences in this process is, like, when we're in that sort of season or that rhythm of eating there and then go somewhere else, our bodies just don't, respond well. So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And how can people find out more about your farm?
Yeah, so the best way is to go to our website, Spread Oak Farm to Table, it's all spelled out, table.com, and you can find out all about our farm. You can find out pickup dates if you'd like to bring your family out and actually see the pastures that they're raised in and see the cows themselves. You're welcome to do that. You can schedule a time on there. Or if you'd like us to deliver, we actually do free delivery on orders over $100 to the Jacksonville area. So
that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Well, you heard it right here on a Mission. I'm your host, Jamar Suber. Thank you for coming out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, take care.